Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video, where I talk about pretty much whatever I want on all of the clans within Naruto. This episode of Naruto Explained, I'm going to be talking about one of the coolest clans in Naruto, the Kaguya Clan. Make sure you guys hit that bell icon when you hit subscribe, because YouTube will then suggest my videos to you, and that'd be freaking dope. Alright, getting on to the Kaguya Clan, let's go! The Kaguya Clan is one of the most unique clans in all of the Naruto Boruto series. Their bloodline contains multiple traits inherited from Kaguya, from their commonly inherited physical appearance to their very own Kekkei Genkai. They do seem to have a personality disorder similar to the Uchiha's Curse of Hatred. The cause of whether or not this was inherited from Kaguya is only speculated. Unlike most clans in Naruto, with Kekkei Genkais, we can see through their clan's ancestry to find out where their bloodline trait was inherited from. Like the Hyuga's Byakugan comes from Hamura, or the Uchiha's Sharingan comes from Indra, but it's not really clear which descendant of Kaguya the clan's bone manipulation comes from. The Kaguya are known for their bloodline limit, Shikotsumyaku. If inherited, this Kekkei Genkai allows them to use their bones as weapons. Bloodline traits are often labeled as Kekkei Genkai or Kekkei Mora. The term Kekkei Mora is used for any of Kaguya's original abilities like the Rinnegan, and the term Kekkei Genkai is when a mutation manifests through one of Kaguya's descendants, not Kaguya herself. An example of this would be the Tenseigan, or Jugo Sage transformation. The Kaguya clan's Kekkei Genkai comes from the ash-killing bone Kekkei Mora. Being a Kekkei Mora, it has some pretty overpowered properties. We've seen an ability similar to this in a fight between Naruto and Delta, one of the inner Kara members. She has multiple body augmentations, and one of which has anti-regenerative capabilities, while at the same time causing massive damage near the site of impact. This gives off a similar crumble effect as Kaguya's ash-killing bones, but the main difference is, the bones comprising Kaguya's jutsu could fully disintegrate the body of anything that it comes in contact with. So if the real Naruto would have been hit by this, Kaguya would have definitely won. Those with the Shikotsumyaku ability don't possess any properties associated with the ash-killing bone Kekkei Mora. Even though that their bloodline ability is nerfed, they can still be powerful without learning conventional fighting techniques, such as nature releases, relying solely on abilities called dances. Dances combine their own taijutsu and ninjutsu techniques with their bloodline limit. Just like Rock Lee, the clan's dances rely primarily on taijutsu. According to the second database, Kimimaru mastered taijutsu by the age of 15 and had a Jonin level stamina and speed. He also possessed the greatest Shikotsumyaku affinity of his clan. His strengths and Kekkei Genkai specialize in closing the distance and completely overcoming an opponent with his superior close-range abilities. His bone manipulation powers are so strong that he can shoot bones out, like for example, by firing his metacarpal bones, he was able to almost shoot through Gaara's defensive ability, Sand Shield. Kimimaru has a defensive ability himself, where he encases himself in bone just underneath the skin layer. This kept him alive while he was being crushed by one of Gaara's most infamous abilities, Sand Coffin. Surviving the pressure of Gaara's Sand Coffin is a pretty amazing feat to pull off, and he kept doing it. Kimimaru was caught in Gaara's sand 3 times. Even on the edge of death from losing his battle to an unknown disease, he beat out Gaara and Lee. Subsequently, from exhaustion, he died before the fight was finished. This was the only time in the series where Kimimaru's abilities were shown in full light, or any of the Kaguya clan members for that matter. In his second most powerful dance, the dance of the clematis flower and vine, he creates a joust and a whip out of bone comprising his arm and spine. These were meant to hold and stab his opponent, but his greatest ability, the dance of the Seedling Fern, is the only dance that's classified under ninjutsu instead of taijutsu. This technique uses chakra to make a forest of bone blades. Because he had Orochimaru's greatest curse mark, the Seal of Heaven, a seal comparable to Sasuke's curse mark, he was still able to prove on this style even further, allowing his body to pass right through the forest of bones. Like I said earlier, all of Kimimaru's abilities were only shown once during this one story arc. So far I haven't covered much on the history of the Kaguya clan. By this time it's common in Naruto for clans to have been lost due to all of the previous wars. The reason for the clan's downfall could have been potentially inherited from Kaguya. Every other member except for Kimimaru is depicted as having an obsession with brutal and violent battles with zero regard for their own survival. If the Uchiha inherited Indra's curse of hatred, then in contrast, the Kaguya inherited Kaguya's insatiable quest for power. Led by a head patriarch, it was decided that they would attempt to overtake the village hidden in the mist. Orochimaru, who knew about their plans, thought that this was a stupid move even for them, as there wasn't any way that they would be able to stand a chance against the mist village. As expected, everyone was lost in the fight except for a small boy with the clan's bloodline inheritance limit, Kimimaru. Kimimaru wasn't like the rest of his clan. Despite being caged by his clan's leader for possessing his rare ability, the kindness in his personality was shown in his unwillingness to fight passing travelers Zabuza and Haku during the night of the battle. Then again after his clan's destruction. He came across the sole surviving flower in a forest, and even though that there were no other members of the plant species left, it was still blooming, and this had a profound impact on how he saw himself, believing that he was just like that flower. He too had a reason to bloom. And it plays into the theme because Kimimaru's dances are named after flowering plants. Orochimaru used this ideology to persuade him into believing that Kimimaru's reason to bloom is to become Orochimaru's next vessel. Time skipping some time with Orochimaru, he was diagnosed with a disease that would only get worse. This was around the time that the Sound Village was waiting for the Sound 4 to bring Sasuke back to Orochimaru's hideout. Not only was this fact damaging because it was Kimimaru's purpose to be a vessel for Orochimaru, but because Orochimaru's living corpse reincarnation allows for the consciousness of the host to forever reside within him. Kimimaru longed to be one of those that Orochimaru selects to always reside within his metaconsciousness. In spite of this, Kimimaru still set out to make sure that the Sound 4 brought back Sasuke in order to take his place as Orochimaru's next vessel. This was when the last Kaguya clansman, Kimimaru, died in his fight against Gaara. And that was the last of the living descendants of the Kaguya clan. And yeah guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Look in the description for even more information on the Kaguya clan that I didn't include in this video because there's just so much information within Naruto on clans and stuff. See ya.